top of that, we had to cover our own cost of audit, which we already have done. We submitted our audit on day one, and we're still waiting to hear back from them. I DM'd the guy today. He said we should get it this weekend. Um, then we also need to get a legal opinion. But that first white paper, to be completely transparent with you guys, was we had my other community manager. He said he was gonna take care of that, and it wasn't what I wanted. And a lot of you guys mentioned that, so he went ahead and posted it without running it through me first. He was just like, get it out. So I read it over and I read you guys' feedback, and I was really upset with that project as well. So right now, finishing up the touches on that, and once we get that done, then we'll get a legal opinion on that. And then she was hoping that we get a listing around Thanksgiving time, maybe either that week or the week after. So that's in terms of our centralized exchange listing there. In terms of development right now, uh, our designer, he's rendering up 3D designs just to give you guys a. He's not completely done yet. I was hoping he'd be done today, but he said he needs one more day to get it all really nice. So I trust him. So all right. So with that, let me know what questions you guys have. You guys can either type it in the chat or unmute yourselves and just go ahead and ask.
There was a big question that came up today about the unlocking. There was a guy that was concerned about that. What's your plan? Is your plan to extend it before we get to the deadline there again?
Yeah, is he talking about the marketing, the wallet, liquidity?
I think he was talking about the LP. Yeah.
Yeah. So we have no plans of taking that out. So we have it just set up for until the end of 2021. But probably on Christmas, we're probably just gonna lock it for another year.
Yeah, that's huge. That's huge.
Is that just to follow up on that? And yeah, he was talking about the LP. Are you thinking? Is there any reason why we wouldn't announce that earlier? I think it'd be good for the community and confidence.
Right.
Okay. Yeah, this is definitely like I'm all ears to open it with you guys. So if you guys want me to go ahead and lock it for a year, I will, be gladly to do so.
Yeah, that'll be a game changer because that was I know someone had brought it up. And if we can do that, and then we can just also shield that on Twitter and just kind of show like, hey, this is real. This isn't a scam. We're here to grow community and a project here.
Right. Yeah. After the AMA, I'll definitely go ahead and extend the lock to just, throw it till the end of next year.
Sweet.
That's awesome. Thank you. And there are also a few questions regarding marketing plans. Anything you can divulge there for us?
So with marketing, right now we're working hard. Like we got some callers and shillers that did it for us pretty well the first day, and talking to different exchanges and seeing they were surprised at how fast that we got up to like was it over $10 million market cap, almost $12 million market cap that quickly, and that's what sparked their interest in our token. So that's why we're working with them right now. They said that they would help us with the listing as well as marketing. The contact that I have said that she loves our project and she's willing to work with us with our budget and get us the right marketing we need.
Awesome.
So yeah, good stuff, Yo-Yo. So what are we looking like? I mean, obviously you're working closely with the dev. I mean, how do you have some sort of foresight on kind of how far out we're looking in regards of NFT stuff, getting that the whole ClawSino stuff rolling? Like, what's that looking like?
So we have like three different parts. So we have the NFTs, which the series one were the cards, the gold, silver, and bronze. We're finalizing that up. We're just making sure the rendering looks fine, and then once we get it out, we do need to get more exposure. And I was hoping that we would get that exchange listing in first to get more people on board and get our NFTs. Because right now, if you see the NFTs across the market, they're all in a kind of a rut right now. It's gonna pick kind of big dip across all NFT projects, but we're expecting that to go back up. So that's why. And also another part of marketing was that we picked up some moon cats off the floor and we reached out to them in regards to a potential partnership So we're talking to them closely. They retweeted our AMA, which is really nice of them to do. And then at the end of this one, we're gonna be giving away a Mooncat to someone here that's a claw holder. And then we still have a bunch left for like future giveaways and stuff. And those are like pretty coveted, I would say. Mooncat is a NFT name that everyone knows, and so I think right now we're trying to get as much exposure to different projects that can help us grow as well. So by the time our NFT is ready to launch, that we'll have no problems with that, smooth sailing. Just with the design, just finalizing the rendering, and then with the P2, play to earn. That's just going to take some time because that's like the hardest part for us. In the metaverse, I have another designer. I was hoping that he would get like a 3D character design up for us, up and running. He said it's not ready yet, so probably tomorrow.
Can you, sorry, I got a little echo here, but a couple quick questions for you. Like, so first you said you started off by saying you're talking to an exchange, you submitted an audit. Is the audit process with like exchange by exchange, or is it like an independent audit that then could apply across exchanges or just apply some certification for holders? Can you talk a little bit about that and where you're at with it?
Yeah. So the first day we saw our growth and we reached out to an audit company right away. And for all exchange listings, they actually require an audit. And the audit company that we submitted with on day one, it wasn't until like a few days after I talked to the exchange listing manager, and she recommended that I get audit with a company that I already had done on day one. So she was really surprised that we already jumped the gun on that. And we're just waiting to hear back from the audit company. And those will work for all the exchanges. It's just like a one-time thing to make sure our contract is nothing bugged up or like rug potential, anything like that. And that'll work for any exchange.
Great. And is it still TBD? Or are you anticipating the next week or 2 weeks or?
Yeah, I'm thinking about this weekend. It's almost been over a week now, and I put that day one. And like audits, I don't know if you guys know, like they're not cheap at all. When I got the invoice, I was like, okay, like I'm in it for the long term, so like I don't care. It's coming out of my own pocket. But exchange listing, when it comes to exchange listings, they have a listing fee themselves, and then they are requiring other things like the audit and then legal opinions, which cost even you almost pay double what the listing is asking for at that point.
So the 60K was just the exchange, but on top of that, you need audit and legal review as well?
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then I guess my other question was like on and then you talked about development, you're rendering 3D designs. What was that in reference to, the NFT or something else?
Our NFTs, if seeing the NFTs, how it's like a 3D card and it's moving the animation, we're finishing that up. And then for our metaverse as well, we want to have the ability to like actually have you guys click around and walk around different places. Like when you enter a building, like you have your avatar, whatever cat that you design. We're gonna make it customizable as well, so they're not the same avatars. So you guys can choose between like face shape, color, stripes, all that. So we're working on that.
You're saying that NFT will enable that, or something separately will enable that?
No, those are two separate like projects at this time. So the NFTs, we pretty much have that. The first series, the NFT cards, that's like 90% done. And then with the metaverse, it's a whole different type of thing. So anyone can participate in getting an avatar. They just have to pay the minting price.
Oh, okay. I misunderstood that. And would that be then its own separate NFT as well, the avatar?
That would be its own separate NFT. So when you do customize it, you'll be able to mint it on your own and own it. And then once you get that, we'll get it to an NFT format so that we can make it compatible with like a metaverse per se. Like if you guys are familiar with this project called Isotiles, that's like the direction we're going in with that project, our metaverse.
Okay, and that component of I guess the metaverse and the avatar with its separate set of NFTs, that is that separate from like the play to earn ClawSino, and do we have timeframes around that, or is that longer term like the ClawSino?
Yeah, right now that's like longer term because that's taking a lot of different coding, and then also just we're gonna still trying to figure out what chain. Like we're gonna have to eventually build our own chain as well because doing these transactions on the Ethereum blockchain it'd just be way too expensive. For example, so we're trying to find. Right now, we're talking to a few developers as well. Like we want to have our own chain so that when people do transactions, like pretty much think of it like our Claw token. So it's like you put in your Claw tokens, you gamble it, and whatever you win, it's gonna give a transaction. And we don't want you guys paying like $200, $300, way more than even the Claw tokens you put in. So if we make that like feeless, very close to zero, then you guys can gamble that free. But if you guys wanted to swap that out, we'll have a different swap chain, a bridge between the Claw net and the Ethereum blockchain. If that makes sense.
So since
Yeah.
we're on the topic, and I can cut me off at any point if you guys got something to say. So you were like using the term gambling. Is do we have any sort of like future issues with that word? And I know like with the whole Twitch and influencers with the whole gambling scene with using crypto, is that something that we should worry about?
It's a really good question. At this time, no, because we're not gonna be playing like those Plinko games, stuff like you can just broadcast to like millions of people, and also like we're not gonna be building this in the U.S. We're gonna have a separate entity in a crypto-friendly country. Like we're thinking about maybe Malta or the Caymans, somewhere along the lines when we get closer to those ideas, because the regulations there are much more lenient. Because right now in the U.S., like, that's pretty much a no-go. But once we get all the designs and everything, we have a connection. It's either we can set up a headquarters in Malta or the Caymans, and that's a lot more crypto friendly to allow us to kind of go bypass those concerns you guys have.
With respect to the NFTs, there's three different levels. I know there was some discussion about the NFT holders participating in some of the I'll call it the revenue or the fees that are generated by way of the ClawSino. Could you just expand on that a little bit?
Yeah, so we haven't finalized what we're gonna do yet, and we want to reward our early holders, especially those who are holding an actual access card. Everybody will be able to, go to the ClawSino, play a few games, play against each other. The fees generated will be a small portion, a small transaction fee. When that all accumulates, we want to pretty much we're thinking about distributing that amongst the different tiers of access card holders. So gold will get a bigger pool, and that'll be spread out amongst them. Silver and bronze as well. And if you hold like a silver or bronze card, it won't be like an exceptional amount of value, but it's just still something. It gives value to the access card itself. That's what we're thinking, the direction we're gonna go.
Great, thank you.
Can you talk a little bit about the team? I know you briefly sort of shared high level, but it could be interesting for people to hear. And then related to that, are you guys planning on doxing at some point? I think the answer is yes, but I want to confirm those.
Yeah, sure. So right now the team is 3 people. We had 4, but I kicked off the guy who wrote the unacceptable white paper. So we're gonna get another mod there too. Besides the community mods, we have a developer and a designer, our front end dev. He's like a kind of an all-in-one type of guy. And then I am more so like the front person that you will see the majority of time because talking to them, they're like, we don't want to waste our time being in the Telegram as much. And I told them like the community needs you guys to like jump in every once in a while. So they're gonna be jumping in a few times here and there, but expect it to just be mostly me and the community mods here that have been like really helpful.
Do we have any influencers on board or talking to any influencers about like marketing and everything?
Yeah, so we reached out to a few. We reached out to a bunch the first day, and a lot of them, they just they did what they were gonna do. We paid them in Ethereum out of our own pockets, and they tweeted about us once or twice, and that was that. But it wasn't sustainable. It was sustainable for a quick pump, and then unfortunately, we got our chart got destroyed by it was an early sniping bot that just dumped all of his tokens all at once, and he caused a panic sell. I reached out back to them saying like, hey, we need some help here. Some of them were like, okay, yeah, once your token starts to increase in price, we'll jump back on board. But right now, they don't want to shill a project like this. And once we get more development down, they said they would help us out as well. Unfortunately, some of them didn't even reach out. They just read our messages and were like, good luck with the project, I guess. So we're really banking on our development. We think our whole idea will speak for itself. We have the marketing manager, exchange listing manager. She promised to help us out as well when we get there. And I think it's just like one of those things that it's gonna be long term. It's not gonna be a pump and dump. I know how quickly the crypto space moves and such, but like good things take a lot of time. You can see like Axie's Infinity, that thing didn't blow up for a long time, and we hope to achieve those types of gains, but these aren't going to be overnight gains.
My bad. I'm trying to look through the chat here and see if we've missed any questions.
Yeah, no problem.
Oh, go on. Could you explain a bit more about like your team's history? Like, what other projects have you done, maybe, or how long have you been working on this ClawSino concept before you released the token and whatnot?
Project was thought of a while back ago, like the first NFT wave. I came across some guys that I met through different chats and stuff, and I'm a new developer. He's helped other projects before. He hasn't told me which ones exactly, but he just mentioned that he's big in the NFTs. He's a big collector and artist, so he continues to do that. Also, he also works for like a big company. I forget which one, but we even think about this plan. We talked about NFTs immediately when the NFT craze was up. Like that's a pretty good idea. And then isotiles came around, and they kind of took our idea. So we're like, well, we gotta scrap that, I guess. But then the different ways that NFTs had just been constantly going up and down. They're like, we have to, actually make this into a product because it's a good idea. It's a good product. Not only are we going to be trading like an NFT metaverse, like we also want to do a play to earn aspect of it that people can enjoy and have fun. So like my experience, I've been in crypto since like 2016, 2017. After about the $20,000 Bitcoin top area. But a little bit before that, when everything was just pumping, and unfortunately, like I lost everything because a lot of us, I think, like it's a lot easier to make the money, but it's not as easy to retain that money. So, like, this is not like a cash grab money project. This is going to be more so long-term thinking. We want to actually create something with value because that's where the money will eventually flow. Like you see all these scam projects popping up, and they're over promising and under delivering. So like we want to do the opposite. We definitely are like, we're not saying much about the product because like there's a lot that we still are juggling around, but like we want to be like the people that will maybe like not so under promise, but we definitely want to overperform and over deliver in the end.
Okay, cool. Thanks for that.
I was just just real quick on the metaverse concepts that you guys have sort of teased. Is this an area that you're still sort of fleshing out? I'd be curious if you could sort of, I don't know, just maybe talk a little bit about the vision, if you will. Like, you know, both the gambling aspect as well as this other sort of set of NFTs with you know, customizable capability, and like what you envision, I don't know, say like a year or two down the road.
Sure, yeah, that's a great question. So our vision ultimately is, like, you know, first things first, you sign up for an account, you connect with your MetaMask wallet per se, and then you would create your NFT, your a customizable avatar. Once you do that, you'd be able to log in like with your mask, and then that customizable ID will be your actual avatar in our metaverse, which will be so pretty much like you can walk around and click around. Like there's games like that, like I don't know, Club Penguin, RuneScape, stuff like that, where you like walk around, you see different buildings, you can click in the buildings, and like a whole different thing will pop up. And when you actually want to play a game, you know, you'll walk up with your avatar, you'll click the game you want to play, and then your screen will open up a new window with pretty much the actual game interface. So, for example, like for our Texas Hold'em, like when you see a poker table, you just walk up to there, you click on the poker table, your avatar will walk up to it, and then a new tab will open up where the interface, like you know, you have the table in front of you, but you have like your cards in your own hands. You get to see your own, and then you like can put them on how much you want to wager with that. So it's like all moving parts into one. It's like, you know, you get your NFT, you get your metaverse aspect of it, and then you can also get your play to earn.
So with the casino, you might be able to play with other crypto holders.
That's like what our vision is, that you know we create a big community where like you're not gonna play with just AI robots, stuff like that. You're gonna play with other people, and like and then we're gonna have like different chats and stuff, and we want to have a chat box there too, so you can talk smack to other people, you know, talk friendly. So it's like you're actually in a poker room with a bunch of people that you don't know, but you will kind of know because it's like, going to be our ClawSino community. And in order to even play a game, you do need to have a wager, so it will require Claw tokens.
And have you been, I don't know, buying land in the sandbox or some other sort of virtual land? Or I think you're talking about like maybe developing your own blockchain, or is that all TBD at this point?
Right now, that's all TBD at this point. So, like the closest I can show you guys is if you guys go to Isotiles and look them up and see like what they did. They made their own NFTs and they allowed you to, you know, put yourself into their metaverse. We want to do all that as well, but on our own chain so that the fees would be close to zero. So, because no one wants to gamble, you know, maybe they want to play blackjack. It's not a game we're going to put out right away. You want to wager, you know, between $5 to $100, but for an Ethereum transaction right now, it's about $200 $300 right now. So that's not sustainable for our model and product. So we're gonna have to do it on our own chain where it's gonna be like very close to zero fees, quick in and out.
So I like, if you don't mind, let me just sort of bubble things up a little bit, especially for people new. Like this is, to me, it's pretty exciting what you're talking about, and I want to make sure I get everything right so that we can. I think it'd be great if the community sort of rates Twitter on this stuff. But you know, first and foremost, you've got an audit that's underway. You know, you've invested a lot of your own money to get that audit done. Those are expensive to do, and we're expecting actually that to come as early as this weekend. And you're actually pretty far along working with a centralized exchange, which I think also will be huge, especially with just like, you know, ease of getting into this thing, as well as typically those are a little bit cheaper from a gas standpoint. You've already updated the website. You're cleaning up the white paper. You've sort of gotten rid of, you know, the dead weight on the team, and you're going to recruit a backfill for him. You've got sort of a marketing partnership with Mooncats, and I don't know if people know about Mooncats, but they were essentially sold on Sotheby's like a couple weeks ago. That's absolutely huge. So, you know, if there's any more, you know, to come there, that would be absolutely massive in my opinion. And then, so those are all sort of the short-term things. And I'm imagining there's going to be a bunch of marketing that's coming as well. And you've got a solid team behind you. It sounds like your cat NFTs, the gold, silver, bronze, that's coming soon. And then longer term vision wise, and I think this is where it gets really exciting, is that you're essentially going to be developing capability for people to live and gamble in a digital world metaverse. And to enable that, you'll have a set of customizable NFTs that people can use as their avatar, and you'll have a location where people can gamble in a social way, and you'll power that with your Claw token, which I think is like all those things together, sort of the digital world metaverse, the interaction within that metaverse, the gambling within the metaverse, and then powering the whole ecosystem with Claw is a differentiated story that I think, not only gets me super excited, but something that I think people should hear about, and that we as a community should start chilling, especially after this audit is done over the weekend. So I'll pause there and, just hear sort of your reaction, see if I got that right. What are the big ticket things I missed? Because I'm really excited about this personally. So
Yeah, you pretty much hit the nail on the hammer with all those points. Definitely, everything's going to be coming. It's just going to take time. That's like I said, like it's not going to be a pump and dump project. Eventually, like we'll see that happen once we get everything underway. But we don't want to be, we don't want to overpromise and under-deliver. So, like, we want to make sure that our Claw token is a staple of differentiate. And the thing that's going to be even bigger, I think, is the community that's going to be built around it, because casinos are around everywhere, and we're also trying to tap into the Asian market. So I'm looking to onboard a Chinese community manager who has experience and can help us with that sector as well, because it seems like the Asian countries, they do a lot of casino, they activities. I don't like to use the word gambling, but that's essentially what they do. So I think if they can get it into somewhere that they can do it at home and not have to be out in those places, it would just make Claw even that much more enticing.
hey, I forgot something now that I'm looking at my notes. You're also gonna extend the lock on the liquidity pool, and you're gonna do that ASAP. Hopefully, that's what I think I heard. And to me, that also shows a dev that's sort of listening to the community. So that's another, I would say, key selling point for me as I talk to some of the bigger whales that I know. So I think we should applaud that sort of level of engagement as well by you. So appreciate it.
Yeah, well, actually, I just want to reiterate that point. I think that's highly significant, because that was one of the core concerns people had with respect to Kitty, that project, where they had something like, it was like 40% of the tokens. It was a massive unlock that was, on the called the midterm horizon. And that is a significant concern for some of the larger investors, because that is sort of a signal for rug potential. So to the extent that you're able to extend that well before we would come up on that milestone deadline, I think that would speak volumes to both your commitment to the project, and it would also essentially make it rug proof. And that's something that I think that we could definitely market and shill, because as you know, in this space, that's a rather significant consideration.
Right. Yeah, most definitely. And like I've been following other projects as well. I even reached out to Kitty and to see if they want to do a partnership of some sort, because ultimately, like, we're a meme token, but we're just more than just a meme token. We have utility, we have a vision, we want to have a community growing, and they have a pretty cool game coming out. But I think in that audience, like no one's gonna be wanting to ride a Kitty go kart for hours. But I think in a casino type game, like that can actually happen. And we'll definitely address the liquidity. Like after this AMA, I'll go ahead and lock it to the end of 2022 to address those concerns right away. I think like that's a big point that you guys brought up. So I want to address that right away. So I'll go ahead and do that as soon as this AMA is over.
Yeah, it's amazing. Appreciate that.
Yeah, DD, that was huge. So just another point here is like, so I understand that you know you're in the background working your butt off, your team's doing what you got to do. You're trying to build out your team, and obviously we got to do our part as a community. But it seems like a lot of the cause of concern as well is just like the communication. Like there's like, yeah, you've put out a lot of alpha and a lot of great, exciting points, right, of what's going on with the project. But it almost seems like it from my view as an investor in this project and a community member, it almost seems like you're almost doing everything by yourself because it's like, sometimes we have, some updates of what's going on, even if it's not something, spectacular, just like, hey, here's kind of what we're doing, here's kind of what you can talk about. It almost seems like we need more engagement from the team and, the people that work under you. So we as a community can actually answer more questions and not just be like, we're just being patient.
Yeah, to address that, like that's why I had like a community manager that was also working alongside me, and then I was doing most of the work for him, for us, for everything actually. The devs, I just leave the devs alone because they don't really like to chit chat and talk. Because I tell them this is what gotta get done, and they're like, okay, I'll get it done. With the other stuff though, the communications, a few of the community members had reached out to me, and we had a private call on Discord, and then it's like, yeah, like I know I've been kind of in and out. I would try more to jump in and be more active and engaged. And until I find someone else that can, with the team, onboard another team member, it's just gonna take time with that. But a lot of it did happen because of our progress was, as soon as we launched our token, the first day up to day 2, day 3, it was just nonstop pumpage. And none of us were ready for that because like we thought like, this is gonna be a long-term product. No one's gonna buy this until we have anything out. And then with the growing community and everything, just everyone asking for different things. We got the website updated. This is now the third time doing that. We had the logo change. We had a lot of different things happen all at once. And during all that time, it was reaching out to different influencers, and I would tell my partner, ex-partner, to you gotta reach out to these people as well, and find out that he wasn't doing those things. So I ended up just being like, okay, like I'll take care of this, I'll take care of that, because I don't want us to double message or reach out to the same people all the time twice. So it ended up being me majority of the time. So that's why it kind of seems that way. So like right now, things are starting to slow down, but we want to ramp things up again because like we're hearing your concerns, and I agree. Like communication has been kind of shaky.
Yeah, man. I know we would all appreciate that, and I just want to commend you for the progress you've made so far. You have been coming with some good stuff, and all our wishes for the most part. I mean, you follow through, and that's kind of what I tell people is like, hey, they haven't failed us yet. I mean, everything that we've asked for, they've either considered it or done it. So just keep up the good work, man, and keep us informed.
Get that, of course.
Now, are you going to be able to schedule an ADA maybe once a week or a month?
I'll probably do weekly AMAs because just like do community updates. I think that's going to be the most helpful. Right now we have about 22 people in the chat, and hoping to see 50 to 100 per week basis. It's going to change, but I think the more transparent that we are and the more opportunities we have to update you guys, the better.
Hey, I don't want to be that guy, and you don't have to give specifics, but I know this is probably an elephant in the room. Okay, so based off of your communications with that the centralized exchange, and kind of what who you've been talking to in regards of influencers or people of influence that can kind of help push this out, like you understand how the crypto market works and how the cycles work. Obviously, you've been through the last one, so you could tell per history we're kind of towards the end of this one. So based off of kind of where we're at as a project now and as a community now, and what you've been working with in the background, like kind of where do you see us as in our growth within the next month, month and a half, 2 months, whatever the case is.
Yeah, so for the next, it's only been like about a week and a half since the launch. Been talking. We got the NFTs pretty much finalized. We have the Metaverse products being rendered right now, just so show you guys an example of like what we can achieve. I agree, like there's our cycles. This cycle's been kind of weird because it just keeps going up, and not to get like political and stuff, but like the COVID stuff and the stimulus money coming from different countries, it's definitely been keeping the market afloat. So like we're recognizing that as well. Like there's cycles, and we don't want to be the project that is pretty much dead right away. We're still working hard as we can. So in a month or two, like we'll definitely have more finalized plans and more NFTs to showcase. In the community, I think like you guys will jump on that and help us grow as well. So in a month or two, we'll have a better picture. We should have our NFTs out. We should have our beta for our metaverse out. In the ClawSino, we should start at least have like a game or two out. It might not look the prettiest at first, but with how quickly we're moving, like we want to get these products out, and then we're gonna have to like make adjustments and listen to you guys' feedback on that as well, because that's what's been working the best for us right now.
Facts. I love to hear it, man. Thanks.
We just need to get more memes of Kel pages with a cat claw over his head, but use that. We'd be unstoppable with that body there, Kel.
You the man, brother.
So being transparent right now, I just submitted the transaction to lock the LP to this. This is a Saturday, December 31st, 2022. So once that is confirmed, I'll pin it in the Telegram for you guys.
That's awesome, man. We applaud you for that.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
That's amazing.
Yeah, no problem.
That's huge.
Any more questions?
Yeah, I personally don't have any more questions, but just wanted to thank you for taking the time to actually hop on a voice chat. To be honest with you, a lot of devs, particularly this early on in a project, many don't do that. There are certainly many who do, but many also do not. I feel as if you've been very honest and transparent in your responses. They seem very credible to me. You've acknowledged, deficiencies where they exist in a transparent way, and yeah, it's early days, but I like the vision. I think that you've taken some affirmative steps with respect to the audit very early on in the process. Pursuing an exchange, I think is a very significant move at this stage in the development, and look forward to the weeks and months to come.
I appreciate every single one of you stopping by and asking questions. And definitely, like I want to be fully transparent with you guys and give you updates week by week. And I'll start doing that. I'll be more active in the chat as well. So any other questions, if I'm not available, just DM me and I'll get back to them as soon as I can. And the first couple of days, I had hundreds of DMs of anywhere from people being legitimate about the project to can I show you on our call channel for 1 Ethereum? And there's just so many of those messages. So I filtered through most of them. So any more DMs from you guys, I'll get back to you as soon as I can.
Awesome. I just want to say thank you again. And also, could you make a Twitter post just outlining everything and also post the link for the locking as well, just to confirm to people that maybe aren't listening right now?
Of course. Yeah, I'll do a write-up and add all the important points we talked about today.
Thank you.
Thank you. OGA. If you can type up your notes, bro, and shoot them out, dude, that would be huge if we can show your notes. Sounds like you kind of wrote all the bullet points down.
Oh, that was just off the top of my head. I thought you were taking notes. Yeah, I'll do my part. That's probably another key point as well. Like, I mean, we're still super early, right? We've hardly got, just a few dozen in here right now. Imagine what this is going to be like in a month or two. So I think one key thing that we got to focus on is the community, right? So we got to do our part to sort of build this sucker to the moon, you know?
Yeah, right on.
So I would like to say, like, we have to understand when it comes to memes, like these are trends. They come and they go. Like as we're speaking, we have over 10 meme tokens launching like minutes in, minutes out. So like what are we actually what is the dev actually doing right now to help us stay relevant? Because it's if actually we don't like put in that work, like marketing wise, we might kind of like lose the relevance. So I came in not too long, but I would like to know what are we doing like marketing wise to help like keep the word out there, because these things are coming up day in day out and people are key into what is hot right now. So it's very important we understand that.
Right. Yeah, I think Kel, they mentioned the different cycles that we'll go through, meme or not. We started off with like that meme narrative of the dog ecosystem has been dominating. There's so many clones of different Shiba Inu tokens. It's about time that the cats get some spotlight in that. So with that aspect, when cat season does come around, which does happen quite a bit, the other cat tokens kind of all pumped together, and then we wanted to create a token that hit that aspect, but also at the same time we encompass like all the different animals under cats, because it's like there are other competitions, like they have cat coin, Kate coin, kitty, and dinger. Those are kind of the bigger ones. Dinger, I think most of them are just banking on Elon Musk tweeting, and I think that's the only marketing that they're going to be able to get is if Elon Musk tweet about that. Kitty, there's like Kitty Inu. I'm not sure, like I mentioned before, like you can't have a cat dog cat scenario in the end. Claw, however, you can encompass the entire kind of cat ecosystem with that. We're not just like one cat, we're different. It could be a lion, a tiger. That's one major point that the exchange listing manager had brought up. She said that she loved the ticker for our token. She thought that it was like really unique, and it just very kind of like a powerful ticker at that point. So, right now, yeah, we kind of rode the cat season meme narrative, but further down the line, what you're going to look out for is going to be our NFT play to earn metaverse, and those are like a lot of exciting points given with that. And with the marketing, like we're still working with the exchange manager, and she's going to help us out with her connects and such like that. So we're talking about different ways, once we get listed, the different rewards we're going to be having. I think she mentioned like, having a small staking pool for the first week just to distribute more rewards to our holders. So look out for more information on that.
Okay, that's good to know. Thank you very much. Because I think the most important thing when it comes to memes is the marketing actually. Because whether we like it or not, I feel like 95% of everyone here is in for the money. They are not in for like the long haul or something. I actually have been here since day one, and I am actually holding a very large amount of claw to an extent, and I haven't sold because I believe in this project. Actually, I felt like we were like the group was way too quiet, like lately. So I feel it's really like it's cool you said you're working with an influencer, a female marketer who would give us that push, which is very cool. But I feel it's something we should actually put in energy into. We should put energy into the marketing aspect of it actually. Because it will really, really help us like stay more relevant. Just my thoughts. I appreciate the work you've been putting in, and let's keep riding. Thank you very much.
No problem. Thanks for your feedback and concerns, because it helps me get a better gauge, because past few days, like the first few days of launch, like I've been burnt out. I've been sleeping like 2-3 hours a day. The community manager,
Wow.
pardon, like he was shit with that, so it ended up being me, and then answering emails, different DMs. Like it's hard for me to be engaging with the community, but then also talk with the influencers at the time, and like they work so quickly as well. They like send payment here, there, wherever. Things to look forward to. I guess I touched base. I know if you guys reached out to me to get YouTubers on board, and then the Brian Makes Benjamins, I reached out to him about 4 days ago. He said he'd have a video for us in 2 to 3 days. I shot him an email saying, "Hey, do you have an update?" And he said that it should be finished by tonight and should be ready either tonight or tomorrow. So that's what I also looked out for this coming weekend.
Okay, that's really good to know. Thanks, man.
Today we're going to be going over a beginner's guide.
Yeah, thank you for your concerns.
Yeah, and one last thing for me. Obviously, want to say thank you for this rundown. I mean, it definitely instilled confidence in myself as well as I'd say a lot of people on this call. I definitely want to continue to hold, and I plan on it myself. Have a decent bag. And wanted to just ask one question regarding. I know you had mentioned it, and you might disclose this after this call. I'm not sure, but what are your plans with the NFT giveaway? I mean, I was pretty excited also to join this call to hear about that, since I'm looking forward to this project and the NFTs and what there is to come.
Yeah, so I'll have to go back, and I know it's like first record the recording, so I'll get to see like who participated and like who. I know you guys are holding big bags, and people here are probably all eligible for the Mooncat, and depending on what the team decides, like we'll go and distribute those rewards. Like we have the Mooncat, and we have like 3 USD prizes as well. We can either randomize all of that, or we can just say these people that participated the most and think are most beneficial and who have been active throughout the community. And if we can't make a decision like that, I'd be more than happy to give away more than one Mooncat tonight, because like we did buy a bunch off the floor. So like just stay tuned for that, I guess.
Sweet. No, I appreciate it. Just wanted to, obviously ask the question again. Excited and really looking forward to where we take this project. So thank you again for your time today.
Of course. And you were mentioning the AMA giveaway, right? Or the access card.
Well, I initially was referring to the AMA giveaway. Obviously, the next question would be the access card. Would be of an interest to hear from you, kind of like timeline on that.
Well, that's like 90% done. The product's almost there, so when we render all that, we'll definitely get it on the blockchain. Then the next thing would be, how to get it distributed, and then we have a whitelist open, and we're just thinking of, how we're gonna do that as well. The first day we opened up the whitelist, I didn't have an anti-bot question on there, and they were flooded with like 3,000 entries. I'm like, this isn't right. So and then I added the last anti-bot question. So, times have changed. I don't know what people are holding now, because day one, everyone was buying and entering. So we're gonna have to go through each of those, see which ones filter out the bot ones, which have been over like 10,000 now, see the rankings of holdings between the holders, and then we'll get them out, get the whitelist situated and finalized too.
Sweet. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Let's go. Let's go.
I think we heard what we wanted to, and really do appreciate it. And keep up the good work.
The more updates I can get you guys, I'll definitely push them out to you guys as soon as possible. I know a lot of you guys have been waiting to hear, and this AMA definitely, I hope, instills more confidence in the team itself. The devs working behind the project, behind the scenes, and also our community managers, that have been really, really helpful as well. Like Chris, he's been doing a lot behind the scenes, working on our Twitter and he's been doing a great job. So I'll thank him as well, and the other whales in here that have been moderators without the title because they've been really addressing the FUD and touch lately, and then they wanted to touch base with me. So this is definitely gonna be a community together project. So I'm excited to what's gonna be produced in a month in advance, a year in advance, and we'll see what happens further on from there.
Right on. Thanks again. Thanks for everything. Looking forward.
Yeah, and we're right now we're just tapping into the kind of the American speaking, English speaking countries. But once we get a project, I'm trying to onboard a Chinese community manager and a Japanese one right now. So, once we kind of get more ideas out, more previews to release, I think like those markets will be huge as well.
So when it comes down to that, you think it would be easier to go transfer over to Discord since everybody wouldn't be speaking, typing in English?
Yeah, so that part, the Discord, I think from my experience, like whoever the team lead is, whatever language that they speak, they don't really jump in on the AMAs. They just ask their respected community manager via Discord. So I have to go ahead and set up those channels. I think I have. I just have to, add a little touch to them. All right. So I think with that, if anyone has last minute questions, if not, then that probably conclude the AMA tonight. Thank you guys for tuning in. So like last chance, anyone have any questions? Okay, then I guess that concludes our first AMA, and then I'll get a timer up for the next one coming up, and we'll see some updates. Hopefully tomorrow, YouTube video will be up, and the 3D rendering of our avatar will be up as well. So I appreciate everyone for tuning in. If you have questions after this, feel free to DM me. I'll respond to you at my as soon as I get to it. Okay.
By the way, was this recorded?
Yeah, I believe so. I think Chris said he recorded it.
Okay, sweet. That's awesome. Yeah, thanks so much, man. This is awesome. I'm super hyped.
Yeah,
thank
of course. No problem. Well, all right, guys. You guys have a
All
good
right,
rest.
guys. Yeah.
Thanks,
Take
bro.
care.
Take care, everybody.
Yeah, thanks, guys. Good night.